want to actually go back to just the psychology of Jeffrey Epstein and kind of get into his character profile, as well as
Yeah,
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine, we've heard it all.
Yeah, we've heard it all. I think it's Ghislaine. So first and foremost, I remember them pulling, paintings of Bill Clinton, who was a friend of his, wearing a dress, posing seductively over a chair. That's a weird piece. I got tons of friends, no pieces of art of grown men dressed as. It's just a little perverted and it's a bit weird, right? I know that he also had artwork where he had fully naked his Madame Ghislaine, fully naked in some of his homes. What's going on here? Let's just talk about what you know about things that were found in his home and why no one seems to be talking about this.
Yeah, the funny thing about that picture of Bill Clinton you mentioned is there are things you see on the internet. You're like, that's fake. Like, I have to source this. And you're like, no way. Is that real? That's everything you hear about Epstein. You're thinking, he can't possibly have this. And of course he has it. And then I know from other people he had a chess set and he would have nude girls as the pawns on his chess set. And then he'd have people who worked for him who were other pieces of the chessboard, with, say, Ghislaine being the queen. And this is a deviant person. So what I believe is that in terms of persuasion, he's running people through like a compliance test. So if I walked into your house and I saw like a naked picture of you, I'd be like, well, this is kind of weird. I'm not sure I feel comfortable here. Not sure I'm going to come back here, kind of deal. And if I saw a naked picture of, someone we knew, I'd be like, all right, just vibes not off, all good. But the people who stay, that's how you're screening people. So if you walk into Epstein and, you walk into a house and you see a chess set with, little girls on a pawn board, you're like, okay, this guy's probably a pedo or something. I'm getting the frick out of here.
Right.
But if you're a pedo or you don't care that someone's a pedo, now you're in. So you've passed that. And he would just gradually escalate things to find out who at the end would wash out and be evil with them, which is, to be quite frank, it's sophisticated and also effective.
Right.
Right away, people who would be like, I'm going to have a problem. You don't come back because in a way that's the best way to get rid of people is you bring them into your house and they're like, okay, I'm out of here, dude. This is way too weird. Good. He didn't want you there anyway. He only wants the people there.
Sadistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, another layer.
People.
So then let's talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. What's up with her? What's up with her? You heard, former, not bodyguards, former housekeepers, butlers have spoken out and said like, they were responsible for putting dildos and sexual objects and putting it back into her room. So we know that she's got this complex, and that she was the person who put these young girls on a test run and make them give them massages, would have, perform sexual acts on her, allegedly. And what's going on with her?
Sure. So the way it's set up is that if you're just, I don't care how rich you are as a man, 55-year-old man, I think Epstein at the time, 45, 50, you're not just going to go up to a 16-year-old girl, be like, hey, you want to get in my car, kind of deal. So you need the following conditions. One is you need broken homes. And this is why it drives people nuts, but this is why I say the left wants to break up homes, because it creates more victims. We see it, for example, with the Conway girl who's 15 years old. And we have people in their 30s, men and women, saying, yeah, leave your parents. And I'm like, you're a groomer.
Right.
You're telling a 15-year-old girl to leave her mom and her dad? What is wrong with you, right? But that's the left. They want to break up homes because why? Now you have a more vulnerable population. So most of these girls are 14, 15, 16, grow up in a little bit of poverty, don't really have any money, don't have a lot of family guidance. They're kind of like lost souls. And then, this friendly woman comes in, oh, hey, how are you,
She didn't sound that friendly, though.
Well, when she would groom them, she was.
Right.
No. So all of this, again, the grooming process is always about you start friendly. So you find, Ghislaine goes in, she's friendly. Oh, how are you doing? How's life? How's school? Oh, you can't afford a prom dress. Yeah. Well, let me help you out here. I'm your friend. Let's get coffee. Let's talk about life. That's that process of grooming them in. And then you bring them over. And if someone freaks out, then you just don't bring that person back. And then if a person's kind of comfortable, then they keep pushing the boundaries. This is actually quite common. I was involved in a lawsuit against I don't know if he was a billionaire, but he was pretty close. And he would fly out au pairs under the pretense that they were going to be au pairs with children. Then they kind of land there and he'd have a woman take them out shopping. And then they would be kind of saying, well, who would be comfortable coming back? Do you like this guy? So you always have to have that woman front man
Right.
to again, because you're grooming them. You're not just saying, hey, I'm 55, come over to my house, here's a few $100 kind of deal.
Right.
The woman's bringing them in, making them feel comfortable, saying, and the next thing you know, they're completely lost where they are. I mean, that's how hell is, right? C.S. Lewis and others talk about it. Hell's a gentle slope. That's how grooming is. It's a very gentle slope, a very meticulous process that Ghislaine Maxwell took them through. And that's why, in many ways, she was probably the worst actor in all of this. Because
Right.
without her, there's no Epstein.
That's right.
That's the person
She
who
was
went
the
to these
enabler.
people. Yeah, and you think back to, you didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with money. $500 is like so much money.
A lot of money.
Even now, like $500 is a lot of money to me, but it's just like, wow, you're 15 years old. Imagine you're 15. You can't afford to have a car. You can't afford to hang out with your girlfriends. You can't get a dress for prom, for the dances or whatever. You just have nothing. And then this nice woman's like, oh, just come over. Let me buy you things. Softens you up a little bit. Next thing you know, you're like, how did I get here?